What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So there's actually a lot of stuff that we need to cover. Over the past week or so, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding a $1,400 stimulus check. So I'm going to address that because we got some updates there. We also have some updates regarding that $200 per month boost for people on Social Security. So I'm going to address that. And we need to talk about air travel and the possibility of people being required to either have a vaccine or test negative. So I'm going to address all those things in today's video. First off, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are having a wonderful day, go ahead, hit that like button, and it does help out the channel. Here's what we know. Stimulus talks are coming to an end. But the reason for them coming to an end is because Nancy Pelosi, she has this self-imposed September 27th deadline. That's the only reason why they're coming to an end. But what I can tell you is that many Democrats are worried that right now these talks are coming to an end when we should still be providing more assistance to the American people. Too many Democrats are fighting. They say not enough is coming out quick enough to the American people, and they're fighting on the one main thing that we knew they were going to fight about from the beginning, and that's on the final price. Bernie Sanders wants $3.5 trillion. Senator Joe Manchin and other moderates want something closer to $1.5 trillion. That's a gap of $2 trillion. That's going to be very tough to overcome. Now, we know that seniors are still struggling. Democrats are going to temporarily agree for the meantime on a $1,000 cash voucher. This is hopefully going to help out seniors, but this is supposed to be to pay for vision, dental, and hearing and the health care there. We know that right now there's not a lot of talks and discussions regarding that $200 per month boost to Social Security recipients, but it's because of a couple reasons, and I'm going to address that in just a minute. But are we going to receive a stimulus check? This is the question that a lot of people have. Are we going to receive a stimulus check? If so, how much is it going to be? Well, I'm going to address that first, okay? I'm going to address that first because right now I know a lot of people are struggling and they need additional income. But here's what we know. What we are hearing right now is that yes, there is a possibility of a stimulus check, but only if we see a infrastructure bill, this social infrastructure bill, if this is going to be $3.5 trillion. If it's anywhere close to $1.5 trillion, there's not enough money. It will not happen. There's also a lot of reports saying we're going to receive a $2,000 stimulus check. Those are false. There's no discussions on a $2,000 stimulus check. None. Absolutely zero. Progressives right now aren't even pushing for a $2,000 stimulus check. What we are seeing is that a couple progressives have mentioned that yes, seniors do need an additional $1,400 stimulus check. But that's because of a poll that came out this past week. Okay? So it's because of this little campaign that's coming out pushing lawmakers to try to add more for seniors. And I'm all for it. But again, this is fake news. This isn't real. This group isn't actually discussing this with Congress. It's just a little bit of a poll. All right, that's really all we're seeing. So what I can tell you right now is yes, there is still a chance we see a stimulus check. According to experts, if we see a stimulus check, it would most likely be for $1,400. Now, why is this? Why is this for $1,400? Here's what we know. The Biden administration has provided a $1,400 stimulus check to all Americans. Okay, great. Well, we know the Trump administration provided a $1,200 stimulus check and a $600. That is $1,800. So really, there's a difference of $400. That's it. However, according to experts, the American people are not going to really worry about, oh, well, the Biden administration, they gave us $400 less than the Trump administration. What they're saying is add an extra $1,000 on top of that. Add an extra $1,000. Maybe that would do something. So that's essentially where we're coming from with roughly a $1,400 stimulus check. But again, who knows? Who knows what we're going to see? Okay? What I can tell you though is Senator Joe Manchin is open to additional relief to the American people, but only to the right people. He wants to see children and families being taken care of. He said that he is open, or he does like the child tax credit payments. However, he likes these going to the right people. He wants these to go to people that are working, that are trying to benefit them and their children, trying to push them to that next level, get them out of poverty. That's what he wants. He just wants to make sure whatever relief and assistance we get goes to the right people. That's it. And so right now, that's the problem. Is if we see stimulus checks, they have to go to the right people. If we see these child tax credit payments, they have to go to the right people. But who decides this? Well, Senator Joe Manchin, he's going to have a lot of pull here. And this is why some people say it could be very tough to see an additional stimulus check, because he might try to pull it all back and give a very limited amount of checks, a very small amount of money, and there's going to have to be requirements that yes, you have to work, you have to be a citizen, and there's other things in there as well. So we'll see what happens there. What we do know though is with COVID cases increasing, millions are still waiting on additional help that they were promised. And according to reports this past week, they were saying that lawmakers were pushing for a stimulus check because they say that was the only assistance that went out quick enough, that went out faster than lawmakers were anticipating. And this is one of the reasons why they say a stimulus check is needed, because this guarantees the American people money today. Not in 6 months, not in 8 months like we're seeing with the rental assistance. They get the money today, or pretty close to it. But again, if the bill drops from $3.5 trillion down to whatever Senator Joe Manchin wants, chances are we're not going to see a stimulus check. So just want to fill you in on that. Let's get to the talks regarding the infrastructure bill though. Because again, is it going to be $3.5 trillion? Will it be 1.5, or is it going to be somewhere in between? Well, today, Senator Bernie Sanders said there's a real danger that both the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill and the $3.5 trillion social infrastructure package, they might not pass. When asked if Democrats could wind up with nothing, Senator Bernie Sanders said, and I quote, "This is a possibility, and I think it would be a disaster for the American people," which is true. It would be horrible if neither one of these bills passed. Now, when Senator Manchin was asked if he would vote and support that $3.5 trillion social infrastructure package, he said, and I quote, "He will not have my vote for 3.5, and Chuck Schumer knows that. If it's not going to be 3.5, I can assure you." He has set this line in the sand that he is not going to go up and over 1.5 trillion. Previously, it was right about 2 trillion, but he's actually went down from what was previously anticipated. So things are getting a little bit worse on that end. The good news is at least he does support something, and he does expect negotiations. That's the good news. Now, what we know is the real problem right now that we're facing is that Senator Joe Manchin, he is holding the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, the social infrastructure package, he's holding that hostage by saying he's not going to vote on something that's $3.5 trillion. But we also got progressives in the House. They're saying they're going to hold that $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill hostage as well. Even AOC, she stated that she would kill the infrastructure bill. She would simply sabotage their entire bill if they do not vote in favor of that $3.5 trillion social infrastructure package, because that's going to the American people. The rest is going to go to roads and bridges and railways and other things like that. But again, this money is going to go to states that already received $350 billion. Many states still have a surplus of money that they could use, but they're just going to hold off and wait to see how much money their state's going to get from that $1.2 trillion package. Again, they already know the amounts, but will they actually receive it? Will Congress vote on this? And that, we don't know. But if we go off of past history, if we go off of what has happened in the past with progressives and moderates, progressives usually don't get much done before moderates do. Moderates usually give in or progressives usually give in before moderates, which means moderates usually get that advantage and take the power. But being that progressives right now are saying that their chance may never come again, they may never get this chance again to pass big, bold, robust legislation, many experts believe progressives are going to hold out until Manchin backs down. And Joe Manchin is pretty much just the leader of the moderates, of Kyrsten Sinema and the group over in the House. And so the hard part there is who really backs down first. But again, based off history, progressives are going to back down. But based off recent events and what's potentially going to happen next year, again, potentially, if Democrats do lose both the House and the Senate, progressives want to see immediate change. They want to see that now. But again, this is why lawmakers anticipate that we will not have a vote before September 17th. That is in 15 days. 15 days. We know in just 3 days, on September 15th, we're supposed to have the legislative text. That's supposed to be submitted to Senator Chuck Schumer. I don't know if we're going to have that. I don't know if we will have all of it. We have a decent amount. I don't know if we're going to have all of it. Even Joe Manchin said, and I quote, "There is no way the reconciliation bill will pass this month." And he said that America will recoil if progressives kill the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. And it's possible. Americans may be distraught when we see that, yes, there's no infrastructure bill coming. We're going to have to drive on those, bumpy roads. We're going to have to cross those, really creaky bridges, right? We're not going to be able to get a new bridge or, new things for our states. American people might be a little upset by that, but at the same time, the American people also understand that if we don't get this infrastructure bill and this $3.5 trillion, or potentially $3.5 trillion bill, there's not much in it for the American people. It's all going to go to states. So we'll see what happens there. As for that $200 per month boost for Social Security benefits, okay, first off, the Biden administration isn't talking a lot about this. Okay, one of the reasons why is because they say that providing an additional $200 per month to all Social Security recipients would actually cause the trust fund to run out of money much quicker than anticipated. The other issue is that we're seeing right now is that some lawmakers are saying, why should we pass additional money to people on Social Security when they're going to get a huge boost this next year, when the cost of living adjustment will easily exceed 6%. Some are even anticipating this could be pushing 7% by the end of this year. And it all depends on what we see over the next couple of months. The CPI data actually comes out this Tuesday. It's going to come out at 5:30 a.m. So I promise I will keep you updated on that. Now it's actually 8:30 a.m., but that's Eastern Standard Time. I am Pacific Standard Time, so that's about 5:30. I will do an update on Tuesday, providing you what we're seeing from the CPI data, what we could potentially see moving forward. But this is one of the things that Senator Joe Manchin is waiting for. And this is one of the reasons why many expect that we will not have all the legislative text by the following day, by Wednesday, the 15th. So again, we'll see what happens there. But what I can tell you is that an additional 6% from the cost of living adjustment for Social Security beneficiaries, that's going to be over $100 a piece each month. So a $1,200 boost right there. But again, this also is coming because of inflation. But many people ask, well, could we also see on top of the cost of living adjustment or COLA, we also see a $200 boost through an executive order? It's possible, okay? But let me explain why most say this will not happen. President Biden could potentially try this, could try to do this, but here's what experts are saying. Experts say that this would be seen as a way for Democrats to buy votes during a midterm election year. They don't expect this to get done this year. They don't expect any type of executive order to be done for Social Security this year. But if it's not done this year and it's done next year, now it's looking like Democrats or the Biden administration is trying to buy the Americans' votes. Well, this is essentially the same thing as what former President Donald Trump tried to do when he was trying to propose a $300 medication card. Provide you a card, a gift card, whatever, or maybe a voucher, who knows? But it would have been for like $300 to people on Social Security that would have gave them, more money to go and pay for medication that they desperately needed. Well, that would have been easily challenged and pulled. And that's essentially what's going to happen here is if President Biden decides to do this, it would essentially be challenged very quickly and pulled because it wouldn't be legal. So we'll see what happens there. But that's the report that we're getting just over the past couple of days. Now, the big thing that we are seeing over the past few days is that seniors are going to be getting a $1,000 cash voucher. This is something that we're seeing, but it's going to be for vision, hearing, and dental. Okay. Now they could, lawmakers could add on top of that, but the reports that we've been hearing is it started out at $600 and it's ballooned to $1,000. Ballooned. Those are the media's words, that it ballooned to $1,000. That's a $400 increase. I wouldn't say it ballooned, but it did increase a little bit. Now, on top of that, we're still seeing that Senator Sherrod Brown is pushing for the maximum benefit to be equal, for Social Security beneficiaries to be equal of that of the federal poverty line. But as of right, and that's like a $293 boost per month, I think. So that right there could be very beneficial as well. The problem is it doesn't have a lot of support. At this time, it doesn't have a lot of support. But again, as we get more information on this, I promise I will fill you on that update. But as of right now, it's that $1,000 cash voucher. That's the main thing that lawmakers are discussing. Again, I think this is going to be increased. I think there'll be more for senior citizens. But as to what to expect, honestly, I just don't know. I just don't know at this point. But here's something else. And this has to do with air travel and vaccinations. The White House has been very clear. They will do what experts feel is the best way to protect the nation. They'll do whatever it takes. If this means the vaccine mandate is going to come, well, they'll do it. And they did. If this means a mask mandate is going to come, well, they'll do it. And they pretty much did. If this means limiting the spread of the virus across the nation, they will do that too. And, well, they essentially had this to say. The White House officials, have hinted multiple times that vaccinations could be implemented for domestic air travel. Domestic air travel. This means anywhere you fly within the United States, you would have to wear a mask. Okay? Well, that's already the case. But you would have to be vaccinated as well. Now, one person stated it could be a mixture of vaccinations and negative tests within the past few days, or it could just be 100% you have to have a vaccination card. If you do not have the card, you do not travel. It would be essentially like getting into another country without a passport. But the issue here is, okay, well, what if people, like we've been seeing, are faking their card, their vaccination card? Well, that would be a federal offense. And so that would come with possibly jail time and a fine. Well, what we know right now is, according to the COVID response coordinator, Jeff Zients, he says we're not taking any measures off the table. We already know that just this past week, we are seeing a doubling in fines for people that are non-compliant with wearing a mask on an airplane. Now the fine, probably thinking, oh, this is huge, this is a big fine. The fine's $1,000. It's $1,000, that's it. Now, it's a good amount of money to some, but to some people trying to make a statement, $1,000 is nothing. They would easily pay $1,000 to make a statement. Is that the best use of money? Probably not, but they would do it. But experts say that this could be what it takes to make people wear a mask. I don't know. We will see what happens there, but what I can tell you is things are changing. Things are changing, they're changing quickly, and I'm going to keep you updated on everything that is going on. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.